Hey guys, Amy here. I just want to apologise that this episode's sound quality is not up to scratch. I somehow didn't select the right microphone when I was recording the episode, and so you're hearing me recording just through the computer. I am wearing fancy headphones and speaking into a fancy microphone, just didn't actually turn it on. So I apologise. I was going to re-record it and then I listened to the episode and thought, actually, it's really good and I think that you guys will handle it. So you'll be back to great quality next week. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to the Art of Decluttering. My name is Amy Revell and I am so thrilled to be here with you. It is the 19th of January. I was just trying to think of what the date is today. The 19th of January, and we're starting to think about going back to school. We've been doing decluttering so far this month in all different little areas in our homes. And what I wanted to do today was a little bit of a public service announcement around school bags, and then also just give you some tips and tricks to make sure that you're ready for school. And a lot of you will be going, if you've got kids at school age, back to school in under 2 weeks. And so it's time to check the school bag. I have had some close encounters with unidentified objects when working with school children after the summer holidays. I've opened school bags with clients' children and discovered that, like science experiments. So did you know that a banana left in a sealed lunchbox for 12 weeks can turn to 100% liquid? And it's brown liquid because it goes brown first. And I don't know how it goes to liquid, but I can tell you that it does. Sandwiches will retain a lot of their shape, but go completely green. If they don't go green, maybe change the bread that you're feeding your children because it may have too many preservatives in it. Mandarins, apricots, they actually kind of just shrivel. They don't really go to mush as much as you would expect. You would expect a mandarin to kind of end up like a banana in full liquid form. But no, they tend to just shrivel, and shrivel in size significantly. So today is a great day to get your kids. You don't need to do this. It's not on you. It's on them. Get them to grab their school bags and completely empty them. Every single thing needs to come out. And if you are lucky enough that there is a lunchbox or some fruit or some food in there, now's a really good time to get that school bag ready for the year. Throw whatever manky things are in there in the rubbish. My hot tip is if there's something gross in the lunchbox, and it's a luxury to be able to do this because you need to be able to afford to buy a new lunchbox, throw it out. You know, like it's totally wasteful, but it is next level when you open up that lunchbox, because I've done it not for my own children, but I've done it for clients' children, and I regret it every single time. So you want to empty the school bag. There may be clothes in there, jumpers. There may be a hat of a kid that's not even yours. You may find that there's no hat and you've purchased 3 last year. And so getting into the school bag now is a really good time because it gives you enough time to prepare anything that you need to do. You may need to buy a new school hat, and we'll talk more about uniforms in the next couple of days. But once you have emptied that bag, you can clean it. In fact, you should give it a really good clean. I've always done my kids' bags. I get like baby wipes or cleaning wipes and give it a really good clean, or get the kids to do that. But I've seen some really great stuff on Insta where people actually just throw the whole school bag in a trough or in a bath and let it soak in washing liquid and water, warm water, and let it soak. And the water is disgusting when it's done. And then just throw it in the washing machine. So I would throw it in on its own and just let it do its thing, and then hang it out in the sun to dry. And it will take a little bit to dry, but that's the beauty of, in Australia at least, we have the sun over summer to dry that out. But do throw it in, get it clean, get it ready so that it's clean and it's not smelly and it doesn't have sweat on, it's sitting on kids' backs. Bags go through a lot. So give it that clean, and then actually let's take a quick break. And then I'm going to talk to you about how to pick a good school bag and some habits around it for the next school year. I'll be back before you know it. One of the things that is contentionable. See, look, you guys just have to be kind of like my thesaurus, don't you? Is contentious, or maybe we'll just say it that way. One thing that's contentious is whether kids should have the school bag that the school is like the school branded bag, or whether you want to buy your kids a separate bag so they can find it more easily and it's more comfortable. My kids, primary school, they had the school one, and then they're at a high school that doesn't have a school bag as part of the uniform. So we got some really good camping ones, actually, we found helpful. They're Kathmandu ones. They've got a few different sections, and there's quite a bit of padding in the just up against your back. So when they've got a laptop and a lunchbox and books and all of that in the back, it doesn't hurt their back when they're walking home. So we found that having a comfortable bag was really good. And you want to think too about how many sections and dividers and pockets do you actually want in the bag. And that's really dependent on your child. So my kids, it's great to have a few different sections because it helps them to remember to bring the jumper home or to pack their lunch in the morning, because they look at that section and go, the laptop section's empty. That's right, I haven't packed my laptop. And so you want to pick a bag that's going to work for your kids and the requirements that they have going to school. Now let's talk habits around school bags, because running late for school, not knowing where your bag is, not having it packed, not unpacking it when you get home from school can all be points of stress and contention and worry and anxiety and arguments in a family. One of the habits that we got into really as soon as the kids started prep is we had a spot that was designated for the school bag. For us that we've always had space at the front door to put a hook, I found that when families have the spot and it's just on the floor, it just looks messy and it's hard to kind of do a visual check that all of the bags are there, particularly if you've got more than, say, 2 or 3 kids. So what we have is hooks, and the bags always get hung up on the hook when they get home. So they walk in the door, hang the bag up while it's on the hook. So it's got to be pretty sturdy because we've gone through a few different hook variations. Because if your kids are anything like mine, they're not going to the effort of gently lifting the bag off the hook. That's like kids using coat hangers. They just kind of grab and pull. And so, you want to go sturdy. So I've gone like hardcore sturdy now. You could like hang an elephant off them and they wouldn't come out of the wall. The house would fall down before the hooks fell out of the wall, I'm pretty confident. But the kids come home, they hang their bag, and then they start unpacking. And it's one of the things that I think can be a struggle for lots of families is, that's fine, Amy. We say to them we want them to unpack, but the kids don't know where all the stuff goes. So make it really clear for them. When you get home, I want you to unpack your bag and any dirty clothes straight into the laundry. And this is particularly important, as I'm learning, as the kids get older, and they'll often change out of a sports uniform and then throw it back in their bag, because at high school, at least ours, you're not allowed to wear your sports uniform just to all the classes because effectively they would just stink. And so they make them change their tops. So you don't want that sitting in the school bag, though, for a couple of days. So you want that clothes out of the bag into the laundry. You want to have a clear thing of like, what do you want done with the lunch boxes? Do you want them to empty any unused food into a compost? Do you want them to wash it? Do you want them to put it somewhere to be packed for the next day? Do you want them to make their lunches as soon as they get home for the next day? Like actually make it step by step clear for kids of what to do, because most kids, once they get into a habit, they're fine. They'll just, do it without thinking. The other thing is to have a think about what you want to do with papers. Now, thank goodness this is getting much less of an issue now that a lot of us have like online school portals, because I really can't handle schools sending home a lot of paperwork. I've got a girlfriend whose kinders send home so much paperwork that it drives her batty. And so if that's you, have a place, have even a magazine holder, or you can have like a filing thing near the front door or near the school bags, and just have that command station where the kids know they can put the papers and you will get to them, rather than them coming to you while you're in the middle of something and saying, oh, Mum, I've got this paperwork. You're like, well, what's the point in giving it to me here because I'm in the middle of something? Have somewhere where it goes where the kids know to put it, and then you know that you need to action it. One of the things I found really helpful when the kids were in primary school is we had a folder, like a plastic sleeve, kind of pencil casey looking thing, that fit A4 papers in it. And so that was our to and from school communication. If I ever had something for the school, I put it in there. And if the school ever had something for us, the kids would put it in there and bring it home. So that may be something that you can do so that the kids don't end up with scrunched notices at the bottom of the bag. You missed the Easter bonnet parade, or you didn't know they were going on an excursion. Just by having a method of communication that makes it really clear, it's just something that the kids can get into the habit of. Like, I think just expecting kids to know how to manage that on their own is a lot. But when you work out what works for your family and make it really clear, that can be a great way to have kind of the school bag emptied each night, filled each morning. You're not missing out on things. You're not getting to the middle of January and finding liquid bananas. So, a few of these things can make a really big difference to the routine of your family, the stress of your mornings, and, that horrible feeling that kids get when they realize they've forgotten their lunch, or they forgot the laptop, or they wanted to do sports day, but their sports uniform's dirty from 3 days ago in their school bag. I hope that that's really helpful for you. If you don't have kids, but you've been amazing and listened to this episode, why don't you just forward it, whatever app you're using, just hit the share button and share it with your WhatsApp group for the school mums, the basketball mums, your family, your friends. Send it out, because I think it's really helpful for people to start thinking up to, 10 to 14 days before the kids go back to school. Be thinking about actually what can we be doing to prepare ourselves for a really good start to the year. So please do share this episode, share it on Instagram, share it on WhatsApp, share it on Facebook, share it via text message, use a carrier pigeon if you need to. It really will be helpful for people, I think. I think that's all I have for you. I want to encourage you to keep leaving podcast reviews. I love reading them, and it really does help people to find us, which is particularly helpful as we head into this busy school getting ready period. And I'm still doing every 48 hours, you get to hear a new episode. So I hope that's really helpful. I loved hanging out with you again today. And until 2 days from now, enjoy the freedom. I would like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people, who are the traditional custodians of the land this podcast is recorded on. I would also like to pay respects to their elders, both past and present, of the Kulin Nation, and extend that respect to other Indigenous Australians. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed today's episode, I would love you to rate and review the show on your podcast app. That will help others to find the Art of Decluttering podcast as well. If you'd like any more information, you can visit theartofdecluttering.com.au, and I would love to see you in my Facebook group. Just search the Art of Decluttering community on Facebook and join today. I hope that you have an incredible rest of your day and enjoy the freedom.